The invisible price of small habits. There is one idea that completely changed the way I began to see success. And interestingly, it has nothing to do with money, talent, or luck. It has everything to do with choices. We all know someone who is constantly making big plans. They buy a new planner, set ambitious goals, and promise themselves that this time everything will be different. For a few days, they seem energized and motivated. But before long, routine takes over again, and the same results begin to appear. That happens because there is a profound difference between wanting a better life and building a better life. Wanting is easy. Building requires a quiet transformation that almost no one notices. Imagine a gardener who dreams of harvesting extraordinary fruit but never takes care of the soil where the seeds were planted. He may desire the greatest harvest in the world, but nature does not respond to wishes. It responds to cultivation. Life follows exactly the same principle. Many people spend years trying to change their results when they should be changing what produces those results. It's like painting the leaves of a tree, believing that doing so will improve the quality of its fruit. It may look different for a moment, but the roots remain exactly the same. And here is a truth that very few people are willing to accept. Your life today is not built by the decisions you make once a year. It is built by the decisions you repeat every single day. Ordinary days matter far more than extraordinary ones. It is on an ordinary morning that you choose to get out of bed when the alarm goes off. It is on an ordinary afternoon that you decide whether to learn something new or waste your time. It is on an ordinary evening that you choose to care for your body or ignore the signals it is sending you. These choices seem small, but they are the very choices that, little by little, write the story of your life. And there is one question that has the power to change everything. What are you cultivating every day that will inevitably become tomorrow's harvest? Because before we talk about success, we must understand one principle that governs every area of life. You will always harvest what you choose to cultivate. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you have become. There is a simple statement that carries one of the greatest lessons about personal growth. Life rarely gives you what you want. It gives you what you are prepared to sustain. Think about that for a moment. Many people say they want financial prosperity, yet they continue managing small amounts of money with the same disorganized habits they've always had. If someone cannot be faithful with a little, what would they do with a lot? The same is true when it comes to health. Some dream of having a strong, energetic body, yet they treat their bodies as though they can withstand every unhealthy choice. Desire points toward a destination, but your habits reveal the direction you're actually traveling. Nature teaches us this lesson every single day. A tree doesn't suddenly decide to produce better fruit simply because a new year has begun. It bears fruit according to the strength and health of its roots. If the roots are healthy, the fruit comes naturally. If the roots are weak, no amount of effort can compensate for what is happening beneath the surface. People are no different. Character is the root. Discipline is the root. Responsibility is the root. Keeping your word is the root. The results everyone sees are simply the fruit. Unfortunately, we live in a time when many people are obsessed with displaying impressive fruit while neglecting their roots. They want to appear successful before becoming the kind of person capable of building success. They seek recognition before developing competence. They crave abundance before learning stewardship and responsibility. But life always honors the natural order. First, you grow on the inside. Then, the world begins to notice your growth on the outside. Perhaps that's why some people seem to keep moving forward year after year. It's not because they face fewer obstacles. It's because they have chosen to work every day on the one area of life they truly control, themselves. When someone transforms the way they think, act, and honor their commitments, something remarkable begins to happen. Opportunities that once seemed distant suddenly start to appear. Not because the world changed overnight, but because they finally became the kind of person who could recognize those opportunities and take advantage of them. This is one of the greatest mindset shifts anyone can make. Stop asking, how can I get more? Start asking, who do I need to become? Because in the end, your income, your relationships, your influence, and your inner peace will rarely grow beyond the person you choose to become each day. And this is where most people face their greatest obstacle. The problem isn't a lack of dreams. The problem is allowing small daily behaviors to contradict what they claim they truly want. The standards you accept determine the life you live. There is a tremendous difference between what a person desires and what they are willing to tolerate. At first, those two things may seem identical, but they are not. Many people say they want an extraordinary life, yet they live every day with mediocre habits without ever questioning them. Gradually, what should have been an exception becomes routine. And every routine, sooner or later, shapes your destiny. Imagine a house with a small leak in the roof. On the first day, it seems insignificant. On the second day, it still doesn't feel like a problem. But after a few months, the paint begins to peel away. Eventually, moisture reaches the walls, weakens the structure, and demands far more expensive repairs. The interesting part is that the real problem was never the size of the first drop. The problem was allowing it to remain for so long. Life works exactly the same way. When you begin tolerating small delays, broken promises, endless excuses, and minor compromises, you are doing far more than allowing a behavior to continue. You are teaching yourself what standard you are willing to accept. And the mind learns quickly. If today you allow yourself to postpone one important task without a valid reason, tomorrow you'll postpone 2, then 3. Before long, procrastination is no longer just something you do. It becomes part of who you believe you are. That is how major failures usually begin. Rarely do they appear all at once. More often, they arrive disguised as small daily compromises. Jim Rohn often taught that success is the result of practicing a few simple disciplines every single day. The opposite is equally true. Failure almost never happens because of one catastrophic decision. It grows through the repeated accumulation of small choices that once seemed harmless. That is why highly successful people pay such close attention to the little things. Not because they are perfectionists, but because they understand that the way you handle small responsibilities reveals how you will handle larger ones. A person who learns to keep their workspace organized often learns to bring greater order to every area of life. Someone who consistently honors small commitments earns the trust required for greater responsibilities. Small habits never stay small. They grow alongside you. So perhaps the most important question is not, what are my goals? Perhaps the better question is, what am I allowing every day that is pulling me away from the person I want to become? Because every lasting transformation begins the moment you stop negotiating with the things you already know must change. And there is one specific moment when that decision is truly tested. It doesn't happen when life is easy. It happens on the difficult days. Your true character is revealed on the hard days. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well. When your health is strong, your work is progressing, your bills are paid, and the people around you are encouraging you, almost anyone can remain enthusiastic. On those days, keeping your commitments feels effortless. But life isn't made up only of good days. There will come a time when you wake up exhausted. An unexpected problem appears. A carefully made plan falls apart. A disappointment arrives without warning. And that is exactly where the real test begins. Your character is not revealed on the easy days. It is revealed on the days when no one would blame you for giving up. Think about a river. When the water is calm, every boat appears strong. But when the storm arrives, you quickly discover which vessels were truly built to endure. People are no different. Adversity doesn't create your character. It simply reveals what has been inside you all along. So don't ask yourself only how you behave when you're motivated. Ask yourself how you respond when you're tired. How do you treat people when you're under pressure? How do you manage your finances during seasons of scarcity? How faithfully do you keep your word when honoring a promise requires real sacrifice? The answers to those questions reveal far more about who you are than any impressive achievement ever could. There is a common misconception that keeps many people from growing. They believe discipline means always performing at your absolute best. But true discipline isn't about operating at your maximum every day. It's about refusing to fall below the minimum standard you've chosen for yourself. Some days you'll have the energy to study for 3 hours. Other days, 30 minutes may be all you can give. What matters is that your commitment stays alive. Some days your workout will be intense. Other days, a simple walk will be enough. What must never happen is allowing one difficult day to become an excuse to abandon the life you're trying to build. Because your life is not transformed by your best days. It is transformed by the consistency with which you face your hardest ones. It is precisely when everything seems to be working against you that a new identity begins to take shape. Every time you choose to keep your word even when you don't feel like it, you strengthen something that no amount of money can buy: respect for yourself. And once a person learns to trust their own word, they no longer depend on motivation. They begin to depend on their character. Yet there is a transformation even deeper than learning to overcome difficult days. It is the moment when you stop chasing results and begin pursuing growth instead. And ironically, that is when the results begin to appear naturally. When you change on the inside, the world changes around you. There comes a moment in life when you realize something extraordinary. The greatest results never came because you chased them desperately. They came because, at some point, you became the kind of person capable of receiving them. Think about the people you admire most. Very few of them started out as extraordinary. They simply made the decision to grow a little every single day. While many people searched for shortcuts, they pursued personal growth. While others asked, "How can I make more money?" they asked, "How can I become more valuable?" That difference may seem small, but it completely changes a person's destiny. Imagine two woodcutters. The first swings his axe relentlessly, using every ounce of strength he has. The second stops for a few minutes to sharpen his axe. At first glance, it seems like he's wasting valuable time. But after a few hours, something remarkable happens. Every swing of his axe produces far greater results. The tree falls much faster, not because he worked harder, but because he chose to improve his tool before continuing his work. You are that tool. Your mind, your character, your discipline, your willingness to learn, the way you treat other people. All of these determine the quality of the results you produce. That is why investing in yourself is never time wasted. Every book you read, every skill you develop, every conversation that expands your perspective, every habit that strengthens your discipline, each one is sharpening your axe. And when the right opportunity arrives, success often appears to outsiders as luck. But it isn't luck. It's preparation. People usually admire only the moment of achievement. Very few recognize the years of quiet growth that made it possible. No one applauds the mornings you chose to study while everyone else was sleeping. No one notices the times you chose to save money while others spent freely. No one sees the silent sacrifices you made behind the scenes. But life sees them. And life always rewards what is cultivated with patience. Perhaps this is one of the fairest laws of existence. You never lose by investing in becoming a better person. Even when the results take time, the growth remains. And a person who continues to grow never stays in the same place for long. Because opportunities seek prepared people. Responsibilities seek trustworthy people. And extraordinary results seek those who have learned to do the small things well. Perhaps today, you still don't see dramatic changes. Don't lose heart. A seed spends a long time hidden beneath the soil before anyone ever sees the first sprout. But there is one question every human being must answer. What kind of person are you becoming while you wait for the results? Because in the end, it will not be the size of your dreams that determines your future. It will be the size of the person you choose to become. The life you will have 5 years from now begins with a decision you make today. If there is one characteristic shared by everyone who leaves a lasting legacy, it isn't extraordinary intelligence, luck, or perfect opportunities. It is a decision. The decision to refuse to live below your potential. There comes a moment when every person must choose between two paths. The first is the most comfortable. On that path, there is always another excuse. There is always a reason to postpone your goals until Monday, next month, or the perfect time. The second path is different. It begins the moment you realize that your life will not be transformed by one dramatic event. It will be transformed by the small choices you repeat when no one is watching. That is the moment everything begins to change. You stop waiting for your circumstances to improve. Instead, you begin improving yourself. And strangely enough, when that happens, your circumstances begin to respond differently. Imagine a sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. Someone watching from a distance might assume that the beautiful statue appeared because of one powerful strike of the hammer. But the sculptor knows the truth. It took hundreds of strikes. Some were almost invisible. Others seemed to accomplish nothing at all. Yet none of them were wasted. Each strike prepared the next until, one day, the masterpiece emerged. Your life is being sculpted in exactly the same way. Every promise you keep strengthens your character. Every book you read expands your perspective. Every healthy habit strengthens your discipline. Every right decision, even when no one notices, is removing another piece of unnecessary stone, revealing a better version of the person you are capable of becoming. Don't wait until you feel ready to begin. Preparation happens along the journey. Confidence is built through the accumulation of small victories. Self-respect grows every time your actions confirm what your conscience already knows is right. Perhaps you've been waiting for one great opportunity to change your life. But what if that opportunity has already arrived? What if it doesn't come disguised as a promotion, a new business venture, or an unexpected breakthrough? What if it is hidden inside the decision you can make today? The decision to wake up a little earlier, to take better care of your health, to keep your word, to wisely manage what you already have, to learn something new every single day. These choices may seem insignificant, but they are exactly the choices that accumulate until they build an extraordinary life. 5 years from now, you will look back, and you will realize that the person you have become was being shaped long before the major achievements ever appeared. That future version of you was born the day you decided to raise your standards, strengthen your character, and invest in your own growth. Because success has never been a destination that a fortunate few stumble upon by accident. It has always been the natural consequence of who a person chooses to become. So before you think about your next goal, ask yourself a far more important question. Who do I need to become starting today? When the answer to that question begins guiding your daily decisions, results will no longer be your greatest concern. They will simply become the inevitable harvest of a life built with discipline, purpose, and consistency. And remember this truth whenever you feel like giving up. The years will pass no matter what. The only choice that truly matters is deciding what kind of person will exist when those years have passed. That is the decision that changes destinies. And that decision begins today. If this message resonated with you, don't let it end here. Leave one word in the comments. Standard. Let it be your public commitment that, starting today, you won't simply set new goals, you'll raise the standards of the person you're becoming. And if you know someone who feels trapped in the endless cycle of making promises, starting over, and giving up, share this video with them. It may be the message they need to hear to change the direction of their life. If you like to keep learning timeless principles that strengthen discipline, develop the right mindset, and help you build a life of purpose, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we share wisdom that has stood the test of time and continues to transform lives. Remember this: your future will not be determined by the goals you write down, but by the standards you choose to live by every single day. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep investing in the most important person you will ever lead, yourself.